Hi, everyone. Hope all is well. This is iveriani. I just want to come on real quick and say hi to everyone. This is actually my first live on this channel, which isn't that's not good. I gotta start doing more lives, but I want to come on here and just talk about some stuff with you guys. First of all, if I want to say shout outs to all my subscribers. I appreciate you for taking the time out to subscribe to my channel, to comment, all of that. I do interact with subscribers, so I just want to let you know that. So, this is the iTip report. My name is iveriani. Just a little introduction, and I also wanted to let you guys know about events. When I post events, because this is something I thought of, when I post an event of a flyer, it's not necessarily, and I have to put this disclaimer out, that I am a part of that event. Um, I'm not saying in the future that if I put out something that I could possibly be a part of it, because I have done events, but I just want to let you guys know that it's out of support. So like recently I post a lot of events. So my recently I have to go back to that. But my recently I posted Robert Glasper's event. He is a phenomenal artist. So usually if I post it onto my platform in the shorts, it's because either if I'm available to go to it, I'll go to it. But if not, I want to share with you guys, this is a dope event. If you're looking for something in the future months to go to, this is an event you should go to if you're interested. Or if you don't know about Robert Glasper, no worries, knowledge. I could go on and on. These are the events that I would highly suggest to go to. I would never post events that I just think are trash and that I want you to go to. No. These are my personal picks and tastes. So a lot of times people will send me inboxes of events going on, tours going on. And so I said, you know what is a better way to share it with the world, wherever you are, because a lot of times the show, the event, it might not be where I'm based out of, which is New York. It could be based Midwest, West Coast, down south, the list goes on, internationally overseas. So usually I like to show support to whoever that artist is that I think is dope, and I just love their music. I will post that so you know. So I don't want, and I'm just saying, it's not that no one approached me about it, because they never really do. People know I promote stuff. Sometimes I promote stuff that's not even my event or whatever. I mean, sharing is caring. We got to help each other out. So I just don't want it to get misconstrued that I am putting this event together, because no, I'm not. If I'm putting the event together, I probably would do a notation and let you know some form of fashion. Hey, I'm a part of this event. Or a best thing you could know of is if my logo is officially on the flyer. Because I have done events in the past where my logo's on the flyer. So other than that, I just want to say thank you for taking the time out to comment, to like those events, and show support. We have to really support each other and whatever we're doing. So I know artists, I know a lot of producers, I know DJs, I know people that are doing their own thing, whether it's in hip hop or just in generally. So if they have something going on, they'll either send it to me, or usually I will see it and I will post it. So that's just to let you know, because I am really big on credit. I am not into um me doing work and people not crediting me, and I'm not into having people do work and I like act like I did it. I just, that is a no for me. That is a pet peeve. So I wanted to tell you guys that. Also, I'm gonna be working on a really big project that I want to present to you guys. I'm not gonna say what it is until it is completed and finished, but I'm excited about it because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And then also, I just want to talk about some random stuff or whatever the case is, and just get you guys to know a little bit about me because I haven't did a bio video yet. I haven't did like a sit down video. So I said, you know, what is the best way that I can introduce myself and everything. So just a little bit about me. I am definitely a music lover. Like I love good music. First, I am a hip hop head. That's top down. People that know me, they know I love hip hop. I just, if I had to put together a list of different things that I like, I could tell you, do I know everything? No, I don't. I don't know everything, but I do know what I like as far as producers, MCs, vocalists, like the list goes on. So if you could tell when you watch some of my shorts, it's pretty much like paying a salute, appreciation to these really good artists that have been out for years. Then you got some new ones, and then you got the in betweens. But it's really appreciation to show them, like, listen, this is my taste of music. This is what I like, and I'm gonna tell you, it's hip hop first. I like hip hop. I like traditional gospel. I do like contemporary, but I was growing up on traditional gospel. I do like Afro beats. I like oh man, there's so many R&B and soul. I like Brazilian music. I like Latino music. I like it all. If it sound good, if it's something that just dope and creative, I do like, so you know. Um Another thing is I am definitely into dope producers. I know usually I think it was this past Monday. Like I will do on Mondays sometimes. I realize I'm not gonna make it a consistency in regards to doing it every Monday because it becomes to be a lot to post. And everybody doesn't know a lot about producers. And then you got some people that do, but I am a number one. I am a Dilla head. I love Jay Dilla. Rest in peace to him, and his legacy lives on. So I love everything about Dilla. That is like my taste. After Dilla, it's Knowledge. After Knowledge, it's DiBiase. I just recently discovered his music. He's been out for a while now, but I like his music. Then you got the P Rock. Then you got DJ Premier. Then you got Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest. A lot of people do not talk about Q-Tip as a producer, but he should be high on the list of people talk about. It's just like my focus point on that is that I love dope producers, because if it wasn't for the producers, we wouldn't even really, to a certain extent, know who the artist is and was, you know? So, those are just some of my top favorites or whatever, but it's a long list. And I love dope MCs. You got Blue, you got Mos Def, Yasin, aka now Yasin Bey. You got, who else I like? Prodigy. Rest in peace to Prodigy. I love Prodigy. Um, Ghostface, Capadonna. Shout out to Capadonna. I met him, what is it, last month? A few weeks ago? Yeah. So shout outs to him. Um, Mad Lib. Mad Lib is, I didn't even mention, I'm talking about Mad Lib. I didn't even mention Mad Lib in the producer section, but because I'm thinking about MCs, Fonte, but Madlib, throw that back to the producer section, but because my mind is all over the place. Fonte, like I said, I like, it's so many different MCs. I like Mick Jenkins. I like Mac Homie. Hopefully, I'm saying his name correctly. It's a lot of dope. It's a lot of dope MCs. Soul singers that I like. It varies. Alex, Alex Isley, if I'm not mistaken, her name is. Yeah. Um, oh man, Chris Brown, John B, Donnell Jones. I like a lot of the artists that people do not. I mean, they probably don't even know or they never really talk about. So when you see my shorts for different days, it's really different artists that I believe that have really good talent, and they just bring it. They bring something different and just something creative. So like tomorrow is throwback Thursdays. I'm probably gonna do some throwback artists of people you haven't heard from in a while. So I'm into stuff like that. But also I'm gonna be doing live just talking about a variety of things. I like vinyl. I just recently found sometimes you have your stash in different places. I recently found De La Soul vinyl. So this is one of my vinyls. It's gonna be in a future review. I was like, oh my goodness, I completely forgot that I had this. So I like them. I'm always looking for new vinyl. Uh, I like new releases, see what's coming out, all of that good stuff. Uh, yeah, I like fashion, shoes, the list goes on. But nevertheless, and I like good shows, so it's a variety. I don't want this channel to be just focused on just one particular thing. I want to be able to talk about a variety of things, but just know that I have like my main thing is commentary, music, vinyl, and fashion. That is my main thing. I also like podcasting. I was doing podcasting management, and I loved it. I was also doing artist management, which I love as well. So it's just mixed in. And then also PR. I started off in the beginning stages of my independent career as like a publicist, independent wise. Then it spilled over into artist management. Then after that, also would combine with artist management, event planning, just a variety of things because I feel like that I am very creative and come up with all these ideas, which I do have. Um, I like to book people for stuff. I remember I used to work on a radio station, and I would book different artists to be on the radio station. And I said, wow, like years later it swinged over into podcasting. So don't be surprised that eventually I will come out with a podcasting show, but it will be something different and creative, and community based friendly, because a lot of these podcasts, they focus mainly on celebrities, and I'm not saying that is a bad thing because it's not, but I feel like you can mix it up with a variety of people that people don't know about, or people don't talk about. So I just love the essence and the art of that. um what else? I love really good shows. Like right now, I don't know if you guys are aware of this show called Mobland. I am digging the writing, even though I'm not crazy about gangster and mob shows. Not crazy about that to a certain extent, but I do like this show. The Mobland show is I gotta find out who's writing it, like doing all the writing, because this is really well written, and they have a grandmother. Well, they got a wife. Her name is Maeve, and she is ruthless. I was like, this is a crazy show. So I like that show. So like I probably would get on a live and just say, even though I wouldn't do a review, I would love to do a review of that show with someone else, but that's not like my main focal point. But I would make suggestions to you guys like, hey, you want to watch a good show? Watch Moblin, watch what is it? Kanan, Power Book. I think that's really good. Then you have I think I watched the season, not think of the first season of The Penguin. That show was phenomenal. I don't know when it's coming back out. So like a lot of things I'm just telling you, and generally if I see that I think is dope and I think you guys would also like too, I would just suggest it to you. And then you could take it from there. But some really good shows coming out, and Mobland is one of them. Then also Suits to the Shy. The Shy is coming back out, I think, on Friday. So I am looking forward to that. And just a generally good entertainment or whatever the case is. Other than that, I know people were like talking about the Diddy case and everything. I just, even though I'm the iTip report, I really don't want to dwell too much on that because I just think it's so many layers to that case. It's just like I would just like to know the pure truth about everything. Like I would like to know what really occurred for Diddy and any of these victims to it come to this point. I'm tired of the speculations and all of that, and I'm just like, ugh, you know. It's like sometimes when you watch stuff on the news or other people reporting it, it's like you don't even know what to believe at sometimes because I'm the type of person I need to see proof about things. And a lot of times, if you pay attention to the news and people talking, they only have but so much proof. You just don't know. You don't know unless you know somebody that knows that person. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I just think that whole situation is really sad. How you have all these major figures that have built themselves up, and then we got to think about it when it comes to the music too, because this is related to the entertainment and music business. Is that these people have became very we thought successful, and you think everything is good, and the reality is as you get older and you discover this is not what you thought it was. Like these people are really not living their best lives. They pretending like they living their best lives. They dressed up. They have everything. They have this power. But I used to wonder why, growing up, that I hear about celebrities on drugs and all types of stuff that they are like, and they have all this money and stuff. Why they doing drugs? But when you start looking at the reality of life and things and what's going on in the world, you look at it and be like, this was all a lie. This is like an illusion. When you start looking at stuff, like, don't get me wrong, life is very real, but you're like, this is not what you or I thought. It's not even real. You know? Then you gotta pay attention to like signs and symbols. It's just all types of stuff. And it's just like, dag, we start listening to the music back in the day. I just remember, going to the club and when I was in college and getting my dance on and just enjoying myself. And you're not really thinking about lyrics to a certain point. A lot of lyrics you do know, but growing up, we were taught you know better to even take on those lyrics, like meaning um, copy whatever you hear and paste it to your life and become that image or whatever the case is. We just knew better, and now we're in different times. It's not even like that. So it's like you start hearing the lyrics, you're like, oh my god, what was I listening? You're like, yo, what was I listening to back then? Where was my mind at? How I did not catch this? How did I not catch this in this song? Like, and then the videos, certain videos, you're like, how did I see that? You just have all these questions now, and it's because if you are enlightened, you you start discovering like, yo, this is not even right. This don't even make any sense. So I'm just saying that when we watch this as we get older now, I'm almost 50. Next year will be 50. So God's willing, you start looking at life totally different. You like back then you thought you were living and you didn't have a care in the world, even if you didn't have a lot. And it's like now it's like wow, people not even really living real lives. But nevertheless, other than that, sad situation, and I just feel like I said with the Diddy, it is very alarming, sad, and I also feel that we're gonna probably find out more stuff, not only from the Diddy case, whatever else is coming up in a few months or whatever. We're gonna find out so much stuff, and we're gonna be like, what, this was going on. Some people are shocked, a lot of people are shocked, and then you got some people that's not shocked. But it's just you get to a point now, you're like, I am not even surprised. I'm not even surprised. For like some more, I think. Yeah, so other than that, I'm looking at artists and just seeing how they coping, like artists you probably never heard of, and just doing some observation. And what I noticed that a lot of artists out here are not really happy with how life is going. It's wonderful to see an artist that is happy and they're not selling out and stuff like that. But I'm gonna tell you, I see a lot of artists are not happy. They're not. You got really talented artists, especially like on SoundCloud and stuff. They're talented. They have it, but they're not getting pushed because they're not a part of the agenda. And then you have artists that are getting pushed, and you're like, what is this? What is going on? How is this okay? It's a little shocking and surprising all at the same time. But anyway, I'm seeing that artists are really not taking care of themselves like they should. They're not able to maneuver right. They're not. I see a lot of artists. Um, what's the word? What to think? They're not really holding on to their gifts, their crafts. I feel like if you are a phenomenal artist and you have a gift, whether it's emceeing, singing, whatever the case is, you always have to stay on top of your game. You always have to practice. You always have to just check yourself and make sure you're good health wise and everything. And sometimes I'll be wondering too, like I see talented artists, whether it's MCs, producers, I mean the list goes on. And you think sometimes you be like, they should be bigger than what they are. And the reason why you realize they're not bigger what they are is because it's either some mental health going on, stress of life, not having the right people around you. You got a lot of yes men around you, not having not I would say also to avoiding being around people to the point that you can miss out on really good opportunities and blessings. I see a lot of and I would tell you, this is like really kind of surprising too, what I also noticed. We have a lot of artists out here that are phenomenal, and a lot of times they don't even know that they would have somebody that's not even really connected to them as much block keeping their blessings. or if they meet somebody that really want to work with them or whatever the case is, they would have no idea and they would miss out because they have been tainted by the industry or have lost friends in the music business. The list goes on. And, I see that and I was just like, wow, that's sad. I used to wonder why, when I first started doing artist management and just different stuff, I used to wonder why people would be all cliquish and stuff. It's like you got to be introduced properly, all of this. And then it occurred to me as I experienced stuff that they have been done wrong. So when they have been done wrong, it's very hard to trust folks, and that's sad because a lot of times I feel like you have a lot of artists out here that they have no idea. You could be a person could see you from a distance with a lot of talent and everything that will be able to help you get to your next level, whatever the case is. And then you got some artists where they have ego trips, they have their issues, and you just be like, oh my goodness, this is why this person has not, succeeded in, with getting to the next level, whatever, you know? So, you start looking at this and you're just like, wow. So, nevertheless, overall, what I want to tell you guys too is that this channel, I started this channel to give a different perspective from where and where I'm from and what how I feel about things and how I feel like things should be done correctly. I know the music business is a grimy business. I am not gonna sit up here and tell you it is the best business in the world because it's not. It's did me dirty on on I can't say so many occasions, thank God, but I could say on many occasions, like people, you would be surprised how uh people are that call themselves artists. You'd be surprised. I've got to the point now that I have my favorites and stuff, but I don't want to meet all of them because when you meet them, you might be shattered. You thinking they're one way through their music and it's totally the opposite or whatever. But like I said, the reason why I started this platform was to really share my taste in what I like in good music. I know everybody's not going to agree with me. I don't expect that because we could agree to disagree. But I wanted to present um, how I feel about certain things to you guys so you could get a taste of it. Because a lot of times I will know artists that probably you guys wouldn't know, and maybe vice versa. Sometimes, subscribers and stuff, they will put me on so artists, excuse me, that I may not know, and I'm all welcome to that. But I also want to share with you just a perspective on what artists deal with because I've managed artists, a perspective on what managers, artist managers deal with because I am an artist manager. um what podcast managers do it, like the list goes on. I want you to get an insight, and it's not to say one side is worse than the other. It's not to say that. It's just to tell you the hardcore truth about this is the hard realities of what people do in this business, and also give you some insight as well as to artists, quality artists that are just phenomenal and you think they could be greater than what they are. That is just my opinion and just a list of other things. But nevertheless, I also want to say that I also see this is a flip side. I see artists just like um moving on to other stuff, not touring anymore. Like I see a lot of that. And I'm just like, this is interesting. I wanted to ask you guys, and I don't know if you know, it's this group that I remember seeing. It's just a random thing. This group I remember seeing called Hawk House. If you know who Hawk House is, they are phenomenal. I don't know where they are at. Can someone tell me? I'm putting out a PSA, public service announcement. Like, can somebody tell me where Hawk House is? It consisted of two guys. They were all MCs. All MCs, and the girl is an MC slash singer. Two guys and one female, right? Phenomenal music. I think maybe they did one or two projects, had an ill video. I think they're on YouTube. They took the video down. I haven't seen them in years. Then I realized they were signed to Sony, and I'm just like, did they get shelved? But if you are familiar with Hawk House, do you know where they're at? You know? A lot of people kind of compare. I don't like to compare groups to other groups. Don't like doing that. But I'm just saying so you get an idea. People kind of compare them to the Fugees, but on a modern. But they had their own style. It's like they similar to the Fugees, but they had their own style, and they are phenomenal. And I love that group. But I just want to know what happened to them, and if you ever heard of Hawk House, and you know what happened to them, please put it in the comment section somewhere. Let me know, because that's a group that I think eventually dissolved, and I don't know what happened with the label. I remember talking to a producer that produced a tune for them, and I remember him telling me they needed a manager, and I was just like, what? But I thought they were independent at the time. But groups like Hawk House, phenomenal, phenomenal. That's, to me, those are the type of groups the people should know about, which I would say, hey, this is Hawk House. Follow them, such and such. Well, I would tell you anyway. Um, but yeah, we haven't seen them in years. Then I recently found out, look at my notes, um, a group called Oshun. I hope I'm saying the name correctly. Two females. They're friendly, divining and going their separate way. One of the girls, she actually left the States and went to Africa. And I was like, and I support that. I'm supporting anyone moving out of the country. I'm supporting anyone moving out of a major city, New York, Cali, Atlanta. I support that because life could be overwhelming at times, even as an artist. But I saw that she moved, and I was happy for her. But I could tell you, it was a little disappointed. I was like, Dad, why they breaking up? But I was happy for her. I understand. Life be lifing. But you start seeing stuff like that, and you're like, Dad. So what I'm telling you in all of this is, if you see a group, understand groups, if they're gonna break up, they're gonna break up. I don't advocate it, especially if they're good or whatever the case is. But if you see a group, or you even see an artist, producer, MC, whatever the case is, if you know that they are good and you're an avid listener of really good music, please show support to them. Let them know. Sometimes it's the people that don't know you that encourage you more than the people that do know you. I mean, that is a fact. But like, yeah, I seen that. I also seen something with um who else? One of my favorite groups, Little Brother. They're about to go on tour. They're currently on tour right now. I think the tour starts. And they was talking about they're not gonna, this is the final tour. They're not gonna be touring no more. And I was trying to understand why they not touring no more. Cause they like in my age bracket, as far as I remember. I'm like, huh? And I just recently saw a video that Little Brother is Pooh and Fonte, When they first came out, it was Pool Fonte and Ninth Wonder, but now it's Pool and Fonte, right? Phenomenal MCs. And I seen a video of Pool talking about, when you start thinking about the touring, the venues take out for merch, they take out for this and all of that. And I was just like, Now, you know me. If you don't know me, you know me now. I'm the type of manager, I started thinking of creative ways to just go behind that. So I was disappointed because I was disappointed when I found out that this was their final tour because I couldn't understand why. And when Pooh explains it, like the percentage, it's not adding up. You don't get, pretty much what you're worth on just about. I'm just like, I just thought to myself, I was like, you know what? If I was working with him, just not managing, I don't have to manage. It takes special artists to really manage because everybody is they all in their own world. But I was like, if I was like a counseling them or just giving them advice on their team, I know for a fact that I will find a space where they wouldn't have to worry about that. I would do I would get creative. I would do it at somebody's house. I would do it where it's so exclusive and a little bit more intimate than just going to a concert because I don't know if you ever know. Does anybody ever tell you they don't like going to large concerts or they don't like being around tons and tons of people? You got people that's like that. And I will tell you from my experience of going to shows here and there that I like intimate shows because you really can bond with the artist. I'm not saying you can't bond with the artist at a big show. I'm not saying that. But I feel like the intimate shows are better. Like shout outs to Blue Note. They always do intimate shows. And it's like a good amount of people. I don't even know how many people the the capacity of Blue Note in New York in the city. But it's very intimate. And I can say when you do the intimate shows, it is everything. So what I would suggest with little brother and them, have it at someone's house. Somebody that has a really nice house, not where I know it's kind of quirky, but not where they be people come and tear it up. No. Something where it's your space. It don't have to be in the house, but somewhere where it's your space in front of somebody's house. I think I forgot who it was. I can't think of their name right now. They do shows on the porch. I think that is creative. To me personally, you cutting out the middleman. It's your porch, or even if you hire somebody, hey, can we play on your porch? That makes sense. They wouldn't not really. They wouldn't want your merch. They wouldn't want this. They wouldn't want that. So I would highly suggest to little brother be creative with it. You know, you don't gotta have it at major venues because a lot of times what I'm seeing now, and I remember Pooh saying he was like the promoters. I think he said something in regards to the promoters not marketing to the right demographics or promoting it well. Like, I already know promoters get a bad rep. I've experienced it in dealing with booking overseas to a certain point. It's like they will run so much game, you be like, oh my goodness. I think nowadays all the promoters think about is money and that's it. But to me, if you really love the music, you will promote it to the right person. Because number one, you will want the artist to get that support. And the artist get that support, the artist is going to get more money. And then when the artist get more money, you as well as the venue get more money. But if you don't have that mindset and it's about, oh, I'm trying to get over, yo, artist is not feeling that. I just remember, speaking of that, I remember Capadonna saying, he recently did a video. This is after I met him. He did a video a few weeks ago. No, was it last week? He was talking about, he was directing this to promoters. He was talking about how they should, listen, my price is my price. We not marking it down. We not doing no discounts. We not doing no reductions. And I was like, wow. And he has every right to say that. I agree with him. He's a legend. Just like Little Brother is a legend, you know? And so many other people. Why do you have to like do a serious negation? Negation. You know what I'm saying? Why do you have to be like, I'm gonna do this, negotiations, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that price over there? No, pay people what they are worth. And I would tell you with Capitana, like I like honest observation, I looked at his performance, even when he was, because I never, wait a minute, I seen him perform at Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival when I went that year, one year. This is years ago. And he was rhyming Chinese, if I'm not mistaken. And it was phenomenal. And then I seen him at the record store at Rock and Soul, and his cadence and everything, fire. Breathing, all of that. So why would you not want to pay? But this is what people do. So I'm just saying that if you don't want to pay the artist, don't expect them to come back to you. As a promoter, I'm just saying, you don't want to pay them, don't expect them to come back to you. Also, like I was saying with the Little Brother, I would be more creative. I feel like it should be somebody on your team. If you see this Little Brother, somebody on your team to say, you know what, this is not the final tour. We're going to do something different. You could always do something creative and different that no one is doing, you know? That's just me. But it is sad because it's like, wow, so you're not going to tour anymore, or you're going to still put out music? Like, I have all these questions. Okay, Little Brother, you're not going to tour anymore, so you're going to put out albums, or you're going to do shows once in a blue moon here and there. Like, I'm trying to understand because I love their music, just like I know a variety of other people do. Anyway, just a thought. So it's like all these little things. I tell artists all the time, stay independent. I know people would probably, corporate whatever, wouldn't like that, but I tell them stay independent and do your own thing because you'll deal with less stress that way when you have control over your stuff. You know, personally, in my opinion, if I'm an artist, I would not stop touring. I would just come up with a different way to tour. You know, I would come up with something creative. That's just me. I would do something creative. But nevertheless, the music speaks volumes. I appreciate the work that they have put in. I hope they don't stop doing music. But yeah, Little Brother, don't stop touring. I'm gonna try to go to their show, but Little Brother, don't stop touring. But yeah, the Stay Fun on tour. Oh my goodness. We as people have to come up with creative, especially if you're an artist or anything, you have to come up with creative ways to do your own thing. You do. Because if you don't, I feel like the people that be, they'll try to take every little thing, every little penny they could take out of you. And I don't support that. I don't. Just like Oh my goodness. I gotta do a video about producer Madlib suing his manager. I think it's been going on for years now or something like that. I got a copy of the court documents and I was reading it and I was like, this is sad. Like, you know? And I met his manager before. It's very, very crazy. Like, I was like, I heard the name and I was like, I met him before. And so I saw pictures. It was in the picture. I went to a Dilla event and I was in the picture with his former manager. And I was like, wow. Like, the world is a small place. It really is. But when you start like seeing, and I'm gonna tell you, when you start seeing artists suing their managers, you be like, why? Like, meaning not why they sue their managers. You'll be looking at the manager like, what did you do to mess up this situation? You know? Because I'm thinking like, this is Mad Lib. Like, he's putting out, he's not a lazy producer, he's not a lazy artist, he's putting out music on a consistent basis. You know, how do you jack that up? You know how many people would love to manage Mad Lib? There's so many other producers. You know how many people would love, you know? And me now with Big Season, I don't have to be. I don't know. Everybody have their egos. I don't have to be the main manager because I'm gonna tell you, when you're doing it all on your own, I have done that all on my own. It is hard work that I love. That's the difference. When I say I love doing artist management, I love it because my mindset is to help the artist get to the next level, not to help the artist take their money. No, my mindset is to help them get to the next level. And I'm just like, you was managing Mad Lib and he's suing you, and then you got sued by MF Doom Estate. Sad. One thing I would tell you is, from my experience with doing artist management, you gotta have a paper trail. You gotta have a paper trail. You gotta have proof of stuff. You gotta call people when stuff don't sound right. You gotta have picture proof, audio proof. hmm Because it's sad to say, artists will lie too. I'm not saying in regards to him because when I read the paperwork, I was like, this is not good. And then they was breaking down the facts on online, and I was like, they had the link, they had everything. I was like, I have to talk about that in another video, and I was just like, that's not good. I feel for Mad Lib because I hope he's doing okay. I went to his tribute show, the first one they had in New York. Then they just recently had one second tribute show in LA. Looked like it was dope. And he lost all his music in the fire. I'm like, it's tough. I'm a vinyl collector, so you're a dope producer, vinyl collector, you lost all your music, future projects, rare stuff, and then you're suing your manager. And that manager got sued by MF Doom Estate. And you just like, I don't wish that on nobody. You know? I hope that Madlib, no, you can't get all your stuff back, but I hope you get what is due to you. I hope any artist that is going through a situation like that get what is due to them. Get their monies, everything they own. Because I'll be looking at this stuff and I'll just be like, people be stealing from the artists all the time. I'll be like, how you sleep at night? I can't do that. I can't. Mm-mm. I can't do that. Mm-mm. I cannot. Crazy. Crazy work. So I wish Madlib well and anybody well with have to go to court suing somebody. Because I'm gonna tell you, I start calculating stuff. Let me just tell you, here and there, I start calculating stuff that I have worked on for a client. You know, you start thinking like, yo, I should have took this person to court. Not the client, but the label, whatever the case. You start thinking, you're like, yo, this is crazy. You know? But this is what unfortunately people do. I'm not doing that. Mm-mm. Somebody come to me crazy with something, I'll be like, I have proof. I always be like, yo, I have proof. I have this. They would have no idea that I have it. Like, I have proof. This is what it is. Mm-hmm. Anyway, guys, life be lifing. And this is why the small amount of really good managers, such as myself, get overlooked or whatever the case is at times, is because you have managers doing crazy stuff like that. Crazy. Crazy work. You know? Anyway, I'll probably tell you not too much because you don't like to talk about negative stuff all the time. But I would just give advice to artists to just not also just depend on your manager to do everything, but do stuff yourself. And you gotta be on the same page, pretty much. You gotta be on the same page. So a lot of artists out here, they not taking care of their business. They not. But anyway, that is with me rambling and everything. But I want to tell you guys, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for supporting it. Thank you for liking, comment, all of that. I'm gonna be talking about a variety of stuff, you know, and but I'm not gonna be talking about, to a certain extent, like, you won't hardly hear me talk about like the Diddy stuff and all of that because there's so many people talking about that, and to me that stuff is like very messy. You know, I'm not saying I'm never gonna talk about real life situations because I'm not. I like to see what the outcome of that. Maybe I would mention that, but we really gotta pay attention to what's going on in the world because it's deeper than we think. You know. Last but not least, this is on another topic. Excuse me. Please stock up on food, stock up on toiletries, stock up on survival skills, stock up on survival, stock up, be prepared because we don't know what to expect within this year, next few years. We don't know what to expect. And so I do not want to have a platform and I'm just talking about one thing which I could be talking about variety things, just here and there. So I will be talking about a little bit survival stuff, but stock up on food, check up on your family, make sure your documents are straight. Just we gotta get organized, including myself with certain things. We have to get organized. But anyway, tomorrow is going to be Throwback Thursdays. I'm not gonna always be posting Throwback Thursdays and stuff. I'll probably do it here and there. I did it consistently for a few weeks, but I want to be doing more commentary and stuff like that, just talking about things, you know. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys soon. And yeah, this is just my thoughts. I will see you on the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts about life, anything I talked about in the topics. And pieces, this is Iveriani. Oh, where do I